We are live.
Now more Skip happens. Please return Bubbles, your flight attendant, to her fully upright and locked position. Oh, wait a minute. Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seat and buckle up. Seat backs and tray tables in their full upright position. It's another episode of Skip Happens. Your weekly view from 30,000 feet. From the first music lesson to the first paid gig to signing the deal, it's the journey that is the life of an artist. Now, here's your captain and co-captain, a.k.a. your hosts, Skip Clark and Deb Lamphere.
Hello. Maybe that was a little bit too over the top. I don't know. Hi, everybody. It's Skip.
We're excited. That's all.
I know. I'm very excited about this tonight. I was excited about the other night when Pat Boone joined us for an hour and a half. That was crazy.
I know.
And Orlando is thinking right now, there's no way I'm going to talk for an hour and a half. So you don't have to. Dude, don't get nervous. But
challenge accepted.
Yeah, there you go. Deb Lamphere, the president and founder of the official country music fan club right there, and from Audco, and of course our guest tonight. And if you watch The Voice, definitely no stranger, Orlando Mendez. They call him the Cuban Cowboy. That's great. That's
Love it.
Cool. How are you, my friend?
I'm good, guys. How we doing? I'm feeling great. Beautiful night here in Nashville, Tennessee. I'm excited to see your faces for the first time and get to kick it here for a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll be in your neck of the woods tomorrow night.
Yeah, Deb will be out there tomorrow.
Nice.
Whereabouts in Nashville are you? Approximately. You don't have to give us an exact.
East Nashville.
Okay.
We'll talk after.
You might see Deb tomorrow night cruise by in a rental. I don't know.
Let's do it.
Well, no, my daughter. I'm hanging out with my daughter tomorrow night, and she's in East Nashville. So I'll explain later. But anyway,
before we get into this, I'm going to do a little.
I've had a largemouth bass, bust smile line, a couple beautiful girls. They'll be goodbye. Trucks break down, dogs run off, politicians lie and fight about a lost case. One thing, count the things I count on. There ain't much, man.
Get ready.
They ain't never let me down. But long neck ice cold beer never blew my heart. Like diamond rings and football slings that torn this boy apart. Like a neon dream, it just dawned on me. The love of this guitar. Long neck ice cold beer never broke my
I
heart.
remember that like it was the back of my hand. Number one, when you came out singing that on season 22 of The Voice, I went, damn, if I had closed my eyes, you could have been Luke Combs. Seriously.
Oh, thank you, Skip, man. That means a lot to me. Luke Combs is one of my biggest inspirations. So I saw, we were able to pick up from a list of almost 500 songs. And that song I have played for the last 3 years that I've been gigging. I've played it every show religiously. And so I knew it had to be that song.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing that got me, I didn't continue on with that, playing that, but it was still the first two went down and it wasn't Blake Shelton. Neither one of them. Blake waited till like the last 30 seconds and he finally turned around.
Yeah.
I think
it
he
was
busting their balls or something, just like,
He'll do that every once in a while.
He was playing hard to get a little bit. He was playing hard to get. His wife turned around.
Yeah, you messed with him a little bit too, right?
Yeah.
Tell us what did you do? There's something about something happened, or did you mess with Blake and his wife and all that, Gwen?
So him and Camila during the blind during the blind audition, him and Camila were going at it. And on the show they trim it to a 5 to 10 minute cut of your whole audition. But that went on seriously in real time for about 30 or 45 minutes. And I'm standing there on that stage, and it felt like 3 years. But I'm standing there on that stage, and I have these 4 coaches turning around looking at me, and Camila and Blake are going at it. And then John Legend tries to get in, and they go at him, and it was crazy.
Yeah, that had to be crazy.
Yeah. How did that feel to have all these people just after you? I mean, it's like that's every girl's dream, I guess, to have all these guys after them, and here you are having all these bitches after you.
It was unreal. I always say I went into that and this is honest, I went into that audition just praying for one chair. I never in a million years thought I would get 4 because I don't know. I'm hearing all these other people singing. I'm like, these are incredible talents, incredible voices, and just never imagined I'd get 4. I just wanted 1, and for that to happen where it was 4 chairs, it was beyond my wildest dreams. So it was an out of body experience. You know, that's all. That's the only way I can describe it.
Now, being on The Voice, I would assume has opened up a lot of doors for you.
No doubt. Yeah, no doubt. It was great. Coming right out after the show, I made a ton of friends on the show, which was.
Oh, I bet you did.
I mean, which was awesome and was crucial for me in terms of guidance. It's actually the reason, the last push that it took to get me to move to Nashville, Tennessee. And so I moved here. I made a ton of friends from the Voice, who I still hang out with here in Nashville. And now I play at Blake Shelton's bar, Old Red, a couple times a month. I'm actually playing there tonight.
Oh, very cool. Well, we'll make sure we get off. Yeah, we'll make. What time do you start there?
10 Central. So we play the late night.
Yeah. Okay. So we got a little bit of time, but still.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. So do you play their full band?
Full band, yeah.
Okay.
Full band show. I have my guys. It's okay. I have my guys from my band that I've been playing with since my South Florida days. They moved up here with me, and we're still rocking together.
Wow. That's pretty amazing that you can get that whole group of people to move with you and work hard with you and pursue that dream with you. I think that's kind of rare, don't you think, Skip? I mean, I don't think I've heard of a whole group moving.
Because it's people that we've talked to, we find out that it's somewhat difficult to get everybody to go with you. I mean, they may have families, they have other things going, although at home they probably played together in the band, but when it comes to actually uprooting and having to move, it's going to make it a little bit difficult. But that's cool. So these guys are really dedicated to you. Gotta love that.
My boys, they're like my brothers. You know, we've become very close over these few years. So,
how long have you been doing music, Orlando?
So, I mean, I've sang my whole life. I feel like I even remember as a kid entertaining my family, you know, at my house. But I was actually an actor before I was a singer. I studied theater at the University of Florida.
Very cool.
Finished school, had a short acting career between New York and Miami, kind of doing theater. And then the pandemic obviously shut that industry down. I had a whole lot of time to sit at home during the lockdown, and I picked up the guitar and started playing. I taught myself how to play guitar, started songwriting a whole bunch. And as things started to ease back into normalcy, I began to gig. So that was about 2.5, 3 years ago.
Wow. So you've done a lot in a short time when you think about it. If you learned how to play guitar, maybe through YouTube, which I go to YouTube to find out how to do things, toaster, in a window, whatever, but
yeah,
pretty cool. So, I mean, they call you the Cuban Cowboy, but have you been here all your life?
I have. Yeah, I was born and raised in Miami, Florida. My parents were born in Miami, but I do come from Cuban heritage. My grandparents emigrated from Cuba.
Very cool. Very cool. Talk about your acting career a little bit. What were you in any big performances? Were you on Broadway? You said between New York and Florida and all that. Talk to us about that.
Yeah. So, I mean, I was having some great opportunities. I was in the biggest play in Miami. It was the largest. It was a show called Amparo, which is about kind of the Cuba and what happened when the Fidel regime took over. And it was a huge successful hit in Miami. They were thinking about, and they're still thinking about, maybe taking it to New York and LA. But I was doing really well. I was making a name for myself in the theater scene. I was starting to do more TV and commercials. And then it all came to a halt. But I think I'm better for it. I'm happier now.
Now I can see that. You got a great smile. I love that. You could just feel that you're happy, which, that's a good thing.
Absolutely. It's a lifelong dream of mine to be a musician, honestly.
Cool.
I was going to say, did you have any thoughts that even though you learned to play the guitar and had, developed a deeper talent in the music during COVID, did you think that, well, COVID's over, I'm going to head back to acting now?
I actually didn't. I never had that thought after I kind of lost myself in songwriting and singing and started gigging, and I was like, I really, really love this, I always loved being on stage, but to be able to bring my passion of country music and bring that to the stage, I was like, this is where I'm supposed to be. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. And it didn't hurt that it kind of started taking off. You know, South Florida was thirsty for it, for a band to bring them country music. So it kind of took off, and I was like, this is right, you know.
Yeah. Was there you said you were born and raised in Miami?
Yes.
Yeah. Now, was there a country station there at the time? Was it Kiss FM? Was it
99.9 Kiss?
Yes,
Kiss FM.
that's it. 99.9 Kiss FM.
Yes, sir.
How do you remember these things? There's so many call letters and stuff.
It's the radio thing. You always, we're always watching each other, listening to each other, and a different radio station and stations, and especially in the country format, it's very unique. And anybody that listens to country, they're very passionate for the format, for the music. And it's just when you hear a country station in Miami, it's like, wow, they have a station here in Miami that's country. You would think it would be Hispanic, or you think just because, the heritage and that whole area being where it is and the number of, Hispanic people that live there. So, but
absolutely. Yeah.
Oh.
But yeah, you'd be surprised. I mean, as a child and growing up, I don't remember many people listening to country music in South Florida, but the audience for country music has absolutely exploded in South Florida. It is like they're bringing Country Bay Music Festival down there. A bunch of artists are touring through there now because the need for country music is there.
Right. How was that move for you to Nashville? I mean, was it a no-brainer, or were you kind of maybe just a little bit nervous about making the move?
I was a bit nervous. I mean, I thought it was a no-brainer professionally. I had seen all my friends; they were thriving. They're here in the heart of country music, making great connections and making waves. And I was like, it's a no-brainer professionally. But there was always a bit of fear, like, I've had success down in South Florida. Is that going to translate to a different part of the country we're going to see? And it's been great.
Well, how important is it it's a lot to do with who you know and who you network with and all that, whether or not you succeed.
100%. Yeah, they're not lying when they say it's about who you know. And so every day I try to make it a point to get out there, network, meet people. I'm going to go to this place where I know there's a bunch of musicians or, music people, or this place, or send this email and try to connect.
Well, you have to. It's your business, so you have to grow it. And
absolutely.
A brand.
Yeah. So, well, I would assume you got a great team behind you, because obviously they've reached out to me to get you on the podcast, which is pretty cool. And I'm very excited that they did. You say you play at Blake Shelton's Old Red a couple nights a week, but do you ever just go out and hang out on Broadway, or is that too crazy?
It's a little crazy. I don't do when I first got here about a year ago. We did the hanging out on Broadway. It's just a little too nuts now, so I've become a little more of a local, I guess.
Yeah,
hanging out at local spots and staying away from Broadway.
Yeah. Do you, if you just want to go out and have a cold one or have a beverage, where do you go?
Here in East Nashville, there's a bunch of great dive bars. I'm a dive bar guy.
I love it.
So, yeah, Mickey's Tavern, Red Door. There's a bunch of cool places here in East Nashville to hang out with the locals.
Yeah. Station Inn was one of mine. So, love the Station Inn. Yeah.
Nice.
Very cool. Very cool. And Deb's been known to pop in and out a few of those places too. So, it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I'll catch you there this weekend.
Chances are you might.
Are you performing anywhere Friday night by any chance?
So I actually have a private event I'm doing Friday night, but
okay.
Tell us about the single "Hard on the Line."
Yeah, so it's my 4th single release. Okay. It's a song that's really near and dear to my heart. It's a vulnerable song. It was written at a time, probably one of the lowest points in my life. It was coming off The Voice and trying to figure out what was next, figure out what in terms of career, but also relationships, and like who was still there for me and what my life was going to look like going forward. I feel like The Voice was kind of a big fork in the road after that, and so that song stemmed from those emotions.
Well, that makes the best music, best song. When you can write about, excuse me, real life, and maybe it's a real life experience, and I'm sure, maybe it's your real life experience, but there's others out there that'll hear it and go, "That's about me." So
yeah,
I say that a lot, but it's so very true. So very
and
true.
I think we've all been at points in life where your heart's on the line. One thing, one decision can really make or break
Right.
your future, and that's the way I felt.
When you came off The Voice, what happens at that point? I mean, you did so well, really, when you get right down to it. And you come off The Voice, and then all of a sudden you just like dropped. You're on your own. There's nobody. That sucks.
It does. And so you understand where I was when I wrote that song. It really sucks. You get built up to this place of like you're on national television. People are talking about you. It's buzzing. It's going. And then all of a sudden it's like, well, that was a chapter. Now good luck,
But you would think, I mean, all of America saw you and then some. It was you did a kick-ass job. You had all 4 chairs turn. There had to be somebody there saying, I want to talk to that guy. I need him. We could, let's get him on our label, or let's do this, or let's do that. Instead, now you're doing everything independently.
Yeah, you would think so. I mean, it's a different world we live in now.
Yeah.
It's all about Instagram followers and stream numbers and TikTok followers. And so people don't really want to develop a lot, take a upcoming talent and develop a whole bunch. They want you to bring a proven product, which it's fair. It's the time we live in.
Yeah, I get it. What about your numbers though? TikTok, I mean, you mentioned social media in general. So, I mean, do you do all that yourself?
I have a few team members who help me. I have a social media manager and a few marketing team members.
Yeah, it's got to be difficult to do it yourself if you had to do that. I just, we talk to people that both ways. It's just
time consuming. It's very time consuming.
Absolutely. And the thing is, guys, I'm not incredible at it. I'm not very good at it. It's not something that comes natural to me. I just kind of live my life, and my social media manager would say, why didn't you take a story of that?
Hey,
why didn't you film it? I'm like, I was just living life, It didn't come to my mind, but
well, I'll tell you this much. We had Pat Boone on the other night, and he does all that. And it's just like, dude, seriously, you're 89 years old. What
badass.
I know.
He did a lot more than you and I put together at his age, let me tell you.
Yes. Wow. And God bless him. And he's still doing he's doing 90-minute concerts. So
that's insane.
Yeah. And he works out twice a week. He swims, he plays tennis, he rides his bike. I mean, it's just like, dude, I don't do that. I'm just saying.
I know.
Crazy. Yeah. So let's talk about your songwriting a little bit. Do you get together and write with others? Do you do it by yourself, or you do it over Zoom, or how does that work for you?
So historically, I've done a lot of self-writing just all by myself in my room with a guitar. That's how 3 of the 4 songs that I've released, I've just written them by myself. I'm starting now to get into more co-writes, more writers' rooms, which are awesome. You can do a lot by yourself, but it's a different ballgame when you get 2 or 3 great minds, great songwriters in a room together.
Right. How do you get people to write with? You just show up at a songwriting session, or how does that work?
Yeah, it's a lot about networking, reaching out. I've been to a few writers' rounds. Great way to network with writers, get exchange contacts, hit them up. If there's a writer on a publisher, then it's a little more difficult. You have to go through the publisher, but they're usually pretty good about getting you into some of these rooms if they enjoy your music.
Yeah. They say, hey, Orlando's out front. Shall we bring him in?
Yeah. Lock the door.
It's like, oh, not that guy from The Voice again.
Yeah, please, no.
No, I'm sure that does not happen. It's all good. Yeah. So you moved to Nashville. You got your own place. You're playing at the bar a couple times a week. You've got a new song, another single. You say it's your 4th, Heart on the Line. That's starting to be pushed towards radio. And they wrote me I'll tell you, your publishing is it Juliana with Aristo?
Yeah.
She was great, gave me the history of it and all that, and said, we think we have something here. And I would have to agree. I think so. And
thank you, Skip. Thank you.
It doesn't happen overnight either. But
no, it's the lifespan of a song is it's like watching a baby grow. You got to put it out there. You got to pray, give it a lot of love, hope the world likes it, and then
you're right. The lifespan could be 20 weeks. It could be a whole year. And sometimes that's way too long. But those are the big labels trying to get everything they can out of that song. But then again, I like it better when, especially on my end of things, when I have a song come out, maybe we play it for 30 weeks, and then there's a new song that comes out, same artist, but they release a new single. And then it kind of keeps that artist fresh in everybody's mind. So
absolutely. I'm trying to get a song or two on radio. It's tough to compete with the big labels and their pool, but it'll happen.
Well, Orlando, I think Deb and I could tell you this, that, and we've talked to enough artists, that a lot of independent artists, and we've also talked to a lot of artists that have been on the major labels, and there's more and more going independent, and they don't want to be told what to do, what to release, how to write. They want to do things on their own, and being creative in your own way, I think, and being unique, it's nothing but a plus. So
absolutely,
that's my belief. I don't mean, I know I have a lot of label friends that are probably going, what the hell is he talking about? But no, that's how I feel, because your talent needs to shine. And sometimes they don't give you that opportunity to have your talent shine.
Yeah. I mean, I have a lot of friends who are independent, don't want to sign record deals. And
exactly. Hey, you could be a songwriter. Look what, you smile every time you go to the mailbox because of that.
Royalty check.
Yeah, you get that check when it's like, it's due. You smile when you walk down the mail. So
that's right.
Yeah, how cool is that? Huh? So have you had the opportunity to play like at the Ryman or anywhere like that?
No, I'm not yet, but that's hopefully in the works. I am already starting to try and get in their good graces and see if I can grace that stage at some point.
Well, here's what Deb and we need to go on a mission. Because here's an artist that's been on The Voice, did really well, kicked some ass, all 4 chairs turned, and he's sitting in his apartment right now. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, this guy, he's, you should be somewhere. When you get people like Blake Shelton and, Camila and all that, they just, dude, I don't get it. Sometimes I just don't understand.
You and I both, but it's okay. We're working hard, and we'll be there soon.
Yeah. What's the best advice anybody has ever given you?
Yeah. Wow. That's a great question. On The Voice, they did a great job of pushing us to embrace our star power, right? Embrace what you have. Embrace who you are as an artist, right? A lot of people try to morph into what's popular or what did this artist do, but you just got to do you, and hope that the world loves that. And the more genuine you can be, I feel like people can tell. I feel like people gravitate toward genuine artists doing their thing.
And they love that.
They do.
Yeah. But then the show's over and you're done. I'm not saying you're done, but you know what I mean? You're like, okay, I'm on my own. Now what?
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's so funny because so many artists, there's so many different paths you can take. And you chose to leave your hometown and go pursue a career here. Now, do you find it more challenging in Nashville, being that there is so much kind of competition versus you had all of this freedom in Miami because there wasn't any country bands there? Do you get to go back there and play? That was the other question I was going to ask.
Yeah, that's an incredible question. I think it is a lot more challenging here in Nashville. You can throw a rock and hit three artists, everyone's doing it. So it's just about, as cliche as it sounds, who's going to work harder, who's going to make more connections, who's going to be most consistent with their release and their marketing, who's going to get out there and do the legwork and tour. See, next year for me is all about touring. It's all about building fans the old-fashioned way, on the road, face to face.
Oh yeah.
That's next year for me is going to be full of touring and getting out of Nashville and building fans the grassroots way. So you just got to kind of stay in your lane. And I will be back in South Florida in November and in December, and back next year. I play back in Florida a whole lot. So
yeah, I'd like to be in South Florida in November and December, and maybe January and February as well. But we're in the Northeast, so it's nothing for us to get a foot of snow overnight. So.
Yeah. Well, this will be my first true country winter. So we'll see. True Tennessee winter.
Nothing. They'll close down if they even predict snow, so don't worry.
Yeah.
You're fine.
You guys are like, that's a cakewalk.
It is. It is.
For us, yeah. But Skip and I have said so many times that, basically building your fan base one fan at a time. But when you get out there, and even if you're playing smaller audiences, they build on the fact that you are giving them a personal touch. And that's, I think, how you really gain those true fans, because they, of course, are going to spread the word and bring more people on, and you're giving them something that you can't really get too much anymore these days.
That's true.
So,
absolutely. And Nashville, it's tough to build fans around this area just because it is so full of artists, constantly trying to get the attention of Nashville. But when you go out of here, it's like a novelty, right? At some places, it's like there's a country act from Nashville coming to play music for us.
Yes, absolutely. We say that all the time. It's a great marketing tool.
Absolutely. So that'll be what next year is for me.
Oh, how exciting.
From my perspective on that, being an artist coming to town from Nashville is bigger than somebody saying, hey, he's a Nashville recording artist. Because anybody can go to Nashville, go in the studio, record a song, and then come back and somebody says, oh, he's a Nashville recording artist. No, dude, you don't get it. You're not from Nashville. You know what I mean? It's like you're actually walking out of your house in Nashville, going to a bus call if you're on a bus, and then you're coming from Nashville. So see, that's the way I look at that, because nothing pisses me off more. Oh God, I'm going.
Go, Skip, go.
Nothing pisses me off more than when I say Nashville. I'll see a poster. It'll say Nashville recording artist, Nose Picker John, and he's going to be blah blah. But really, he went to Nashville, recorded one song, or recorded an EP or something, and now he's a Nashville recording artist.
Right.
Really? Not really. No. You're a Nashville artist. This is what you're doing. This is your living. You're in Nashville. You're writing. You're singing. You're doing it all. And for you to make that trip to go out of your area and go perform somebody, that means a lot.
And your dues too. So,
for sure.
You've been there, 2 years now, or a year?
Little more than a year. So we're steady.
9 years to go.
Steady working. Yeah.
Don't say that, Deb.
But he's young, so it's okay. I mean, you'll gain a lot during those times. It might be 9 years before you're playing a stadium, that's all. But
yeah, okay, that's better off. I mean,
that's better. We like that.
You do the little ones, just build up to it. That's all.
Just build up to it. So.
Have you had the opportunity? Go ahead, Deb.
No, I was just gonna say, don't ever get discouraged, because you said you have to work hard. Who's gonna work hardest to get to the cream of the crop, and you just can't give up. So that's all. Nothing you don't know already. Go ahead, Skip.
For sure. I had the opportunity to meet one of my biggest country inspirations the other day, which is Eric Pasley, and he told me, I saw him at a small writers round. He told me, man, keep doing what you're doing. You're doing great. He's like, and remember, this whole age we're in of social media and everything, it's no longer a tenured town.
Right.
It can be, but it's no longer, because you can get out there with Instagram and TikTok, and it's so much easier to get your music out there now. Those 10 years can become 5 or 3, depending on what kind of kind of work you do.
There's some good examples out there. There's Bailey Zimmerman. There's Zach Bryan. There's, let's go back to Kane Brown, way back in the beginning, the YouTube videos. Somebody noticed him. Bam. Now look at him. He's doing the stadiums. Just saying.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Very true.
What do you do for fun when you don't want to write? You don't want to sing? You get out of the house at all?
Yeah, I do. I mean, like I said, I do love me a dive bar. I love watching football. That's my thing. I love CrossFit. I do that a few times a week. So I have little hobbies here and there.
Yeah. Are you a Titans fan?
I'm a Dolphins fan.
Oh,
from Miami.
it's
a great time to be a Dolphins fan.
Dude, the Dolphins sucked up until just recently. Now it's, my brother-in-law is big into the Dolphins. Even at their worst time, he was still wearing the Dolphins jersey and all that. And now they're making some.
They have sucked my entire life. I have lived by that Hootie and the Blowfish lyric, "The Dolphins make me cry," for 26 years of life. And we're finally decent. Now I can finally rep my Dolphins gear without feeling like an absolute loser. And I'm enjoying it.
Well, we're Bills and Giants up here. We kind of leave the Jets alone. But,
those are great.
Yeah, exactly. What do you, Deb, because Deb's big into football. She does her Monday Night Football and all that. Who's your team?
Well, I'm a Titans fan. I have Raiders fans in my family, and they're doing awful right now. And
they do suck.
Chargers, yeah. So,
Chargers are decent.
But they're decent. But I've gotten into Monday night. We go up the street and watch, Monday Night Football up at one of the restaurants. But I do this fantasy thing now, sort of not like a fantasy league, but you pick them, and I have to pick who's going to win with the spread. Well, I stink at that, but I like doing it. It's kind of fun.
That's awesome. Learning. I love that.
I'm learning. So.
Do you do the fantasy football thing?
Yeah, 100%. I've been doing it for years and years, and now I have about 3 leagues.
The men in my life live for the freaking football. I mean, starting on Saturday mornings and then Sundays, forget it. There's no talking to any of them. It's all fantasy football every day.
Don't ask me to do anything.
Yeah. Hours and hours.
He's playing a gig watching the television.
Yeah. No.
I'm sure that's happening. Yeah, exactly. So where do you see yourself in 5 years, Orlando?
Yeah, it's an incredible question. I see myself with a bunch of music released. I want to, in these next few years. Next year, my focus is on dropping my debut EP, and then an album later in the year. So I want to have a whole bunch of music released. There are so many songs that I've written and have yet to write that I think need to be out there. I see myself playing some pretty good stages, man. So I want to get to that arena level, bigger amphitheater and arena level. I want to have checked off the Ryman and the Opry for sure. And touring. That's what I love to do. I love to be around the country and
get
play
on
my music.
Road.
Yeah.
Make new fans.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Deb said before, it's always one fan at a time, but in reality it can be a lot more at the same time. So it's kind of cool. And if somebody wanted to look you up, get a hold of your music, you have a website?
I do, OrlandoMendezMusic.com. It's up there. It's being rebuilt at the moment.
Okay.
But it's still functional.
Yeah, but then if they wanted to get the new single, Hard on the Line, can they just go to iTunes and download it? Or Yep.
It's everywhere you listen to music, Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, all that good stuff.
Have you ever done a podcast before?
I have, yeah.
Cool.
I've done a few. I like them.
They're a lot of fun. And Deb and I love doing this, and we really I have a full studio. That's where I'm sitting. This is like in my private area of the house.
That's cool.
My wife has to knock on the door if she wants to come down.
Skip only. Skip only access.
Yeah, skip only in the Skip Happens pod zone.
I like it.
But normally what happened was
my studio's still being built.
Yeah, it's Orlando. It's been that way for a couple of years. So I'm just saying.
I had to throw that in there.
Yeah, I know. She loves to bust my balls about that. It's been a couple of years, but anyways, what we used to do, and before the pandemic, when the artists would come out on the radio tour, we'd have them actually come over here. They would spend the night in Syracuse, where we are, and we'd have them come over to the house, and I get pizza, wings, beer, we do a podcast. Awesome. Yeah, and then the pandemic hit. Bam! Now here we are. But you know what? This is the best thing we ever did. This is just like with you. You had to pivot. You changed, going from being an actor to doing music. You're very happy. That's what good came out of it for you. This is what is good for us. And it's just, and because if it wasn't for that, I doubt very much we'd be talking to you.
Yeah. And you know, it's now your possibilities of how many artists you can get. I'm sure you have a lot more.
Oh yeah, no, we go strong. We do 2 or 3 a week. And if
Sure.
you check out Skip Happens on YouTube or the Facebook or the Country Music Fan Club, you'll see we've had everybody from Martina McBride to Lainey Wilson to
Wow.
you know, it's crazy. And you know, even you're right up there with them. They're all here. They're all on Skip Happens. That's what matters. Pat
That's right.
Boone, 89 years old and doing fine at 89.
I'm among great company, man. I'm among great company now. I can put that on my resume.
Well, I don't know if I do that. They'd probably, no. But no, that's pretty cool. I wish you a lot of luck in your career, dude. Do you think you'll ever go back to acting? Would you use that as backup?
You know, I would. I think I want to achieve this dream of being a legitimate country music artist. I want to have a great music career, but I do at some point want to jump and do a little acting, and maybe those two paths will kind of converge one day.
I bet you, you know, they go together. And I hate to keep going back on this, but look at Pat Boone. He sang. He was in 13 movies. He's got credits in 61 other movies. He put out what did he tell us? 2,700 singles.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, no shit.
Wow.
We're like going, what? You know, it's crazy. Yeah.
2,700. That is an insane catalog.
Well, the
He
guy
said
is
he put out
so.
more than Frank Sinatra.
Yes.
I jotted that note down.
Yep.
Wow.
And Elvis
You
used
know,
to for him.
Okay. Yeah.
But that,
You could be like Tim McGraw. Get your music career going, flip over and do a little acting, still do your tours, and then hit up a few movies. There you go.
He's my idol.
See it in the making.
He's my idol. When people say, what kind of career do you want to have? I'm like, I want to have Tim's career. I mean,
there you go.
The longevity, how many great songs he's released, and been able to do it over a few decades. So
yeah, this guy, you know, Tim keeps going and going, and there's no reason why you couldn't do the same thing. But had a chance to chat with him just a few months ago, not on the podcast, but he was at a venue really close to us, and I stood next to him, and this guy is so fit. This guy, like, dude, really? I mean, I had to suck my gut in. I'm like going, you know, I'm going, dude, how do you do? Do you eat hamburgers?
Right.
And he does. He told me his whole routine. And I'm like, then how do you look that good? You know, I didn't want to be weird about it. I'm just saying, but look at you.
Is it just workout regimen?
Yeah, I guess he works out almost every day, and you know, even when he's at doing a show, he's out between his buses doing all sorts of stuff, and it's just crazy. I don't know, and I'll never look like that. I'm too far gone.
There's still time, Skip.
No,
got it.
Orlando, you don't understand. There's not much time left. No, there's a lot of time for my life. I'm just saying to work out and all that. I don't
work it out.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe I could do the CrossFit like you do.
Yeah, it's fun.
That's a work. How many times a week do you do that?
4 or 5.
Wow. Yeah. I don't think I'd be here then. I don't know. Do you have a diet you follow as well? No.
See, I'm not great with the diet portion. That's the part I'm trying to get in check now. You know, CrossFit does great, but at some point it's all about what you eat and what you drink, or you know, and so that's the part I'm trying to get locked in now. But we're still a work in progress.
Good deal, man. I'm proud of you. Just keep going. And you know what? Hopefully they have a radio tour, or you guys put one together and you come to the Northeast, because we'd love to actually say hello in person and you know, do a little. We'll have you in the studio if possible. So, which would be really
I'd love that. Like I said, I'm planning stuff for next year, planning tours. So there will be radio push and PR and all that good stuff.
Just tell me you got to go see Skip.
I will. I got to see my friend Skip and
Deb.
Deb.
I might even invite Deb. So I don't know.
Hey.
It all depends. You know, it's been great chatting with you, finding out about you. We hope our viewers and our listeners go check out the new single, Heart on the Line. You've had 3 other ones up until that, and you can go to Orlando Mendez music.com. That's right. And if you want to look up some fun stuff, go to The Voice season 22 and just watch him. And I love watching your mom and dad on the side of the stage.
They They were a riot. They kind of, after that episode aired, half of the texts were like, "Oh my God, great job!" But dude, your parents, your parents were awesome.
They were.
Everyone texted me about my parents. I was like, yeah,
they didn't care about you being on stage. It was the reaction from your mom and dad. No,
yeah.
I'm just kidding. No, I would have been, oh my God, just a moment like that. And the crowd going nuts. Did that, you get out there, you must have been nervous in the beginning.
Yeah, no doubt. Hands sweating.
Yeah. Do you kind of shake all that off once you sing like the first note or the first verse? And then it's like, just let it out?
Well, what was, there is, you walk out these doors, you walk on the stage. So there's like 10, 15 seconds before you actually start singing. And I kept saying to myself over and over, we're not going to let nerves ruin this, right? This is a once in a lifetime opportunity. I might only get to do this once in my life. I am not going to let nerves be the reason why I don't succeed today. So just breathing and continue to tell myself that. And then I sang that first line and it was like a switch, like the nerves kind of faded.
It's totally mind over matter, no matter what you're in life. Because I mean, if I'm somewhere and I have to psych myself out not to be nervous or be upset or, react a certain way, it's like, okay, even working out, it's like, all right, it's like 5 more of whatever, I could do this. And you just have to psych yourself out. So,
and that's what it was. That's what it was for me. And then that first, the moment was when that first chair turned, I saw it, you see the light flash and everything. I'm like, well, we're in the game now. Now all the nerves are gone because it's like I can't screw it up now.
That is crazy. And for Blake to wait as late as he did to turn, so that's pretty awesome. Were they all good to you? Did you get a chance to at least talk to them off stage and kind of do a little bit?
Yes, I did, and they were all amazing. I can genuinely say they were all such good people, so open, caring with the contestants, which they don't have to be. They see a bunch of contestants every year. But they're so giving of their time and so good with us.
What is or what was the best? I already asked you about advice, but let's talk about the actual judges themselves. What was the best advice they gave you? Did you mention that earlier? I think.
Yeah. So Camila actually, one of our in the second round, we were singing Rocket Man, but doing like a country version of it, and there was like a high note. And so I kind of flipped into like a falsetto into my head voice, which I rarely do. I mean, before the voice, I would never sing in my falsetto, my head voice, because I just wasn't comfortable with it.
Right.
I hadn't done it much. And she looked at me, she said, "You need to do that more."
Wow.
She's like, "It's cool. You have this deep, gravelly grit, and then you flip into this nice, sweet falsetto and come back. And that's fascinating. That's dynamic." She's like, "You need to do more of that." And so I've kept that. Even in my songs, Hard on the Line, I have a falsetto
I was going to
note.
ask. Yeah, exactly.
Long Gone Lullaby, I have a falsetto note. So I've utilized it afterward.
Another thing I love about The Voice is the duets.
Yeah.
And that is just phenomenal.
I absolutely love the duets, and it makes me so sad that somebody has to depart at that point.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's the toughest round because, if you do it right, you're supposed to be a team. You're not going against each other. You're trying to make a beautiful duet. So you kind of get close to this person, and then all of a sudden it's a competition.
Yeah.
And one of you gets cut and goes home, and then you feel like crap because your friend's leaving. You kick your friend off the show. Like it's pretty shitty sometimes.
Yeah.
That is the weird dynamic with that show. It really, we talked about this a long time ago. We had another voice contestant on, and to get on there knowing that you have all these friends but you're all competing against each other, but you're singing with each other. And I don't know if I could emotionally do that. It's like, I gotta sing against you, yet I know I want you to kind of be kicked off because I want to win.
But look where all of you are. You're on national television.
I know.
You're already on that big stage. So yes, it's a competition, but look where you are. That's pretty cool. How did you before we let you go tonight real quick, how did you get involved with The Voice? Did you have to sign up? Did you do that yourself? Did somebody else do it for? We had somebody tell us their mom signed them up once.
I have a similar story. So so as I mentioned, I was an actor before I was a singer. So I used to get all the casting notices. I still do. I get all the casting notices, and I saw it pop up a few times on my email. The Voice casting season 22. And I was like, I'm not doing that. Not doing that. I had actually auditioned for American Idol years prior, all virtual. Didn't go great, but so I was like, I'm not doing that. Then I had a friend of mine who saw it. It came across his email, and he was like, hey, you should do this. I was like, I've seen it, not going to do it. He's like, well, if you don't do it, I'm signing you up. So you don't really have a choice. And I was like, oh, screw it, whatever.
Yeah.
And 5 virtual rounds later, or 4, whatever, and then to LA.
Wow. That's amazing. You've done well.
So I didn't know that. You have to do virtual rounds before you head out there?
Yeah, there's a few virtual rounds just like this over Zoom. You have to send in some cover videos and have an interview. There's a few different hoops you have to jump through.
Was your band afraid of losing you?
They were. They were. You know, they all wished me well, and they were all supporting, but they were like, "You're never coming back, huh?" And I did. We're still playing together today. So
so you have the Orlando Mendez Band, right? Is that what you call it?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's under Orlando Mendez, the Orlando Mendez Band. We've gone back and forth.
That's cool. And you always do the Luke Combs tune, right?
Always. It's a staple. We'll sing it tonight.
It's got to be. All right, Orlando. I know you got to get down to Blake Shelton's place. Do you ever see him there? Does he pop in?
Apparently he does. I haven't seen him yet, but he films his new show, Barmageddon. He films it there. Right. So they'll shut it down sometimes, and he'll be in the building. Yeah. Haven't gotten an invite yet, but maybe soon.
He sneaks in the back door, goes to the kitchen, grabs a sandwich, and he leaves out the back door.
That's right. I never see him.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? This has been a pleasure chatting with you, my friend. And we wish you a lot of luck in your career. I know that you got a good opportunity here to get a song on the radio, another one, Hard on the Line. Anybody watching this or you listen to it down the road, make sure you check it out. It's OrlandoMendezMusic.com. And you can find out everything about Orlando. He says the website's kind of under construction right now, but if you just do a search, you're going to see it. And I did now that you mention it, I did do a Google search on you, and it was like, I don't know, there's a whole lot of stuff that came up. I don't know. Have you ever been in prison? No.
You don't want him to announce that on air.
No. Just kidding.
Luckily, no. But
dude, you're the best. And appreciate you coming on with us on Skip Happens here tonight. We wish you a lot of luck. Hopefully our viewers will go and give us a little thumbs up, subscribe to Skip Happens on YouTube and our Facebook. And Deb, you want to tell them about your
so Orlando, when you get a chance, follow us at Country Music Fan Club on Facebook and Instagram. And when we log off the air, I'll give you a little more information, but we'll promote your music when you put out new music, and we'll come visit you when we can. We're in the area. Love to see you.
She'll be there tomorrow. Just saying,
I'll see you tomorrow
here in the Northeast in the cold, but I don't know.
It is. My daughter said, she goes, it was like 80 there today, or 70s.
Yeah, it was.
70s. Nice day.
Back to being kind of warm.
Yeah, it was 60.
Enjoy it. I know.
Orlando, you're awesome. Peace out, brother. Thank you for joining us. Help us spread the word about Skip Happens. And, not only you, but we have a lot of the independents, and we have a lot of the major labels artists.
That's awesome.
On here as well.
Yeah, I definitely will. This was amazing. Thank you, Skip. Thank you, Deb, for being a great host.
You're amazing.
It was a lot of fun.
You're amazing. We love you. All right, man. Stay right there. And goodbye, everybody. Thanks for watching. It's been another episode of Skip Happens.
Good night.